Let me ask you something. Have you ever used ChatGPT and thought, yeah, sometimes it gives such perfect answers and other times it just hallucinates or goes off track? The secret is not always in model, the secret is in the prompt. In this video, we'll explore what prompt engineering really is and why it's becoming one of the most in-demand skills today, and what makes a good prompt work like magic. So let's start very simple. A prompt is the instruction that you give to a large language model. Why is it needed? Because these models don't understand like humans, and the best way to basically move around is to predict the best next word based upon your input. So how you phrase your the input matters a lot. So if you give a very vague prompt, an answer is going to be very vague. And if you give a clear prompt, right, then it's basically going to be accurate and helpful answer too. So, let's try to understand with an example, what's a good prompt and a bad prompt, right? So, let's look into the, let's open a chat GPT, right? And let's try to look for a good prompt and a bad prompt. So, if I type, tell me about India, right? So if I ask him, tell me about India, this is way too broad. The model might talk about history, geography, politics, cricket, who knows? So a better prompt would be, to probably give it a bit more, detail altogether. So let's try to write a better prompt, right? Giving him some or the other context altogether. So write a three paragraph summary on India's economic growth since 2000 in a formal tone. Now, this one is a much better way. Why? Because we are giving it a topic, a scope, a structure, a tone, and this is exactly what looks like a prompt engineer. So with a good prompt, you can actually get more accurate results, save API cost. There is no retry. There are a lot of automation of the workflows that you can do, which we are going to do in the future as well, and even train internal AI assistant with no brain for the fine tuning. So big, companies are literally hiring prompt engineers as a job role now. And the best part, you don't need to be an ML expert to learn this. So, let's try to understand the anatomy of a good prompt, right? So, what makes a prompt actually work well? So, here are four essential parts which you can include. So, four essential parts are the first is basically the instruction, right? Instruction, which means what do you want model to do? Summarize this, classify this email, translate this sentence. These are the instructions that you are basically giving. Then you basically give him a context, which means give some background information that helps the model generate better result. Like you are an AI HR assistant helping answer employee queries, or act like a historian explaining ancient Indian trade routes. So these are basically the context that you are doing. The third is basically the input data that you are going to work with. Now, this is the actual content you want the model to work on. For example, here is a paragraph. This is a tweet I want you to write. So this is like an input data that you're basically giving. And the fourth, which is a final one, which is the output, format. Very essential. So for example, tell the model how you want the response to be structured. For example, answer in bullet points. Give one line responses. Return the output as JSON with title and description. When you combine all these 4 point parts well, you give the model everything it uh, you know needs to be succeed. So let's apply this one in a real prompt, right? So I'll just go back to my you know And I'm basically going to ask a very specific prompt now. You are a professional travel assistant. Summarize the top three places to visit in Kerala for a honeymoon. Write it in a friendly tone and return the output in bullet points. So now let's try to break it down what we wrote so far, right? So according to this, we gave it an instruction which is summarize top three places. We gave it a context like you are a travel assistant. We gave it input like Kerala and honeymoon focus, an output format like bullet points and the friendly tone as well. Now this is a very well generated prompt. Okay, and you see the result is going to be in that manner as well, right? So remember, great results don't come from the great models alone, they come from great prompt. This was just the beginning. In the few videos that we are going to explore in the future, we'll talk about zero shot prompting, few shot prompting, chain of thought, and even how to combine reasoning with action using tools. So let's up our prompt game. See you in the next session.